I wanna make you smile whenever you're sad. Carry around if your arthritis is bad. Oh, all I wanna do is grow old with you. I'll get you medicine when your tummy aches. Build you a fire if the furnace breaks. Oh, it could be so nice growing old with you. I'll miss you, kiss you, bring you my coat when you are cold. Need you, feed you, even let you hold the remote control. So let me do the dishes in our kitchen sink. Put you to bed when you had too much to drink. Oh, I don't want to be a man who grows old with you. I want to grow old with you. How is everybody tonight? Guess where I am? On my bench. No big group of kids today. Oh, me. I sang that song to my ex-girlfriend one time. I almost started crying because that was a very heartbreaking situation. But anyways, it is story time. Okay, so I promised yesterday about the alligators, and one thing I do want to say, I never told my mother or my father or anybody in my family any of these stories. So if my mother is watching this, I'm sorry, Mom. I hid a lot of the dramatic things that happened in my life because I know how protective you, especially you and Dad, but you were very protective, and you probably would not have let me leave the house if you knew that all of this was going on with me. But I kept it very, very low key. I never, ever, ever, ever told anybody. I didn't want to tell my sisters even, because if I did, I was afraid that they might say something to you all about it. Okay, so this particular time I was 14. And I was with one of my neighbors, and I will leave them out of the picture this time because it was a super dangerous thing that I did. We decided we wanted to go fishing, and there was a house right at the lake, and this old lady, there was a John boat that was on her property, but she said she wasn't the owner of it. And we asked her, could we take it out? And she said, yeah, but it didn't have any motor or anything. We just had paddles. So we paddled out to this spot, and we were like drifting towards these lily pads and that. And we heard this weird sound, you know. At that time, I really didn't know what an alligator sounded like, but or at least I didn't imagine that I did. I don't remember. But anyways, there were some baby alligators that were floating on a big group of lily pads. And my neighbor took one of the paddles and scooped one of them out of the water and into the boat. And I didn't see it. I was fishing. We went out fishing. And all of a sudden, I heard this like burp, 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 burp. And I was like, what is that? And we looked over on the other side of the boat, and there was a probably 9-foot alligator, somewhere in that neighborhood, you know, from head to tail. But the alligator's tail hit the boat, and my neighbor stood up in the boat. He stood up, okay? And it started rocking, like wildly rocking. And I told him to sit down, because I didn't want to fall into the water. But next thing you know, guess what? We both fell into the water. And I climbed up onto the bottom of the boat, and he did also. And the older lady, Miss Terrell, she was a very nice lady. She was watering her lawn, and she had to have been like 80-something maybe at the time. And we started screaming like a couple of girls. We were screaming and waving and everything else. And finally she looked at us, and she ran into the house, or walked, or however she did. And she called the police, and it's the first time that I actually saw a police boat. Red and blue lights on the boat. And it seemed like it took forever, but it took probably 8 minutes for them to get to where we were at. They rescued us. They shot one of the alligators. And that was that story. So, like I said, I did a lot of things as a child that my mom really didn't know about. Nobody in my family knew about it, because I was very, very mysterious and discreet about all of that. Like I said, my mom would have locked us away in the house, or at least me. My sisters probably didn't get into much of anything, but one time my dad, many times, but one particular time, my dad gave me a lot of plywood and 2x4s, and I built a fort above a manhole cover. And the manhole cover was like out in the middle of this field. And so we built it over this manhole cover, and we took the manhole cover off. And it was real dark and probably about 25 feet down. And it was water, a bunch of water in the bottom of it, and there was a ledge, I don't know, 15, 20 feet from the water, and I was standing on the ledge, and I just about fell over, and as I was going back, I felt like a force pushing me back up against the wall again. And I imagined that was maybe an angel of mine or something, my guardian angel or whatever. Some force pushed me back up against the wall. And I was real terrified, and we just put the manhole cover back over that, and we never did go back down in there again. But we saw a couple of alligators in there at that time, and I never did go back into that again. All of this was in Florida, of course, and we lived what was called Lake Triplet. We were on North Triplet Drive, but if you walk down the street just a little ways, there was three major lakes. One lake was like 40 feet deep. And then the other lake, it was like waist deep all the way across. You could walk, and it was the longest of all the lakes over there. And then one lake was probably 8 feet deep or so. And all of them, from what I was told, was that they were all sinkholes at one time. And they filled up with water, and then the one lake, it led out to Lake Catherine, where one 12-year-old girl, she lost her life from an alligator. They had like pylons with nets and stuff to keep alligators from coming in, where they would swim in that particular part of the lake. But somehow or another, one of the alligators got through that net and grabbed her and did the death roll and everything else, and they went after it and killed the alligator. But it was a sad situation. We all heard about it. Over near the lakes is where I learned how to swim. There was a lady that lived not too far from the back of the one lake, and she had a big swimming pool, and she was a swim teacher, so my mom took us over there, and we learned over there. That's how I learned how to swim. But yeah, that was my alligator story, and it was a bad situation, and I always seem to get myself into those types of situations, but I always have felt protected, and I'm very grateful for that. I always thank my Father up above for keeping me protected during all those times. And I just want to say I love you all. Love yourself. Love God, and by all means, love each other. Until next time, love, peace, and soul.